Hello everybody, Tiffany from Dragonflyer Studios here. Hope you all are doing a wonderful, wonderful day. Doing a wonderful day? Is that what I just said? Having a wonderful day? Whatever. I hope your day's good. Yeah, I hope it's great. I hope it's fabulous. Clearly, mine has been long. Okay, so the last video I showed you how to create this little guy here, and in that video I promised to show you how to do the stitching from the original one that I had created. This little stitching here that's all along the edge, it is done by hand. That is not a machine stitch by any means. It is tedious and it is time consuming. However, I absolutely love the finished product of it. So if you have a machine that can do that straight stitch like that for you, by all means go to town. But I'm gonna hand stitch this one too, and then we'll see how it turns out. So what I'm gonna do is, I normally do my videos in real time. However, you guys do not want to sit here and watch me hand stitch all the way around the edges of this thing. Let me tell you, it would be snooze inducing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do this video in little snippets if it will let me. So I'm going to start by showing you how to measure out the holes, how I got the holes there, and then I'll show you how to measure out your thread and how to start the stitches. But the video will jump, so it will go from, you know, I'll have like a little bit of stitch, or I'll have a little bit of holes, and then I'll come back and the whole thing will have holes. But I'll show you how I get from point A to point B. I just won't make you sit through the mind-numbingness of it all. Like I said, it is very tedious, but well worth the effort. So I just use a regular ruler and an awl. If you watch my video called Tools of the Trade, I go over what this guy is and what he's used for. He usually comes out whenever I do bookbinding, so in my signatures and things of that nature, but it's actually also used for leather work. And this is it's not leather, it's paper. It's a faux suede cover. It's meant to look like leather, but it's pretty thick because this is 3 thicknesses of paper that I'm going through. If I just did it with a needlepoint, well, I don't have enough skin on my fingers. How about that? I would end up with some very sore fingertips. So what I did with the original that I showed you is I just have a brown felt tip marker, and my very first step was measuring out my holes. So, oh, I don't need that yet. I'm not punching holes yet. So I'm just going to measure out my holes, and basically what I did was I came in about a 1/4 of an inch off the edge, and I really just eyeballed this. I suppose if you wanted to get super technical, I could line it up on the edge of my Fiskars mat there that you see down here, and then those 2 little dots on either side, that's technically a 1/4 of an inch. So I guess I went in, oh, hold on just a second, kiddo needs me. Okay, I'm back. So it looks like instead of a 1/4 of an inch, I probably went in more like 3/8 of an inch. But you know, you do you. And so then what I'm going to do is I'm going to line my ruler up so that I'm as close to a 1 inch mark on both ends. Now, this is about 10 inches wide. It's a little bit off on either side, so, you know, no big deal. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to come in about 3/8 of an inch and make my first dot. And then I'm going to come in 3/8 of an inch over here, 1, 2, 3, and make a dot. And then I'm going to move the ruler so that I'm on 1/4 inch marks. The little tiny hashtags. I don't know if you guys have ever been taught to read a ruler. For those of you who haven't, these 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's a 1/4, that's a 1/4, that's a 1/4, that's a 1/4. Okay, if you've ever been taught how to read a ruler or not, that's how far apart I'm making my marks, is a 1/4 of an inch. Okay, so I'm just going to line my ruler up, making sure that it's back far enough, and I am just going to start making dots. This is where I'm going to punch my holes that my eventual stitches will go through. I make the dots on this side because once the stitches are sewn in, this little felt tip mark, if any of it remains behind, it's just going to blend in with the leather. Make sure your holes are dark, or your dots are dark enough. so that you can see them. I'm just going to do this one side with you live. Well, real time, not live. In real time. And then I'll take a pause, and when I come back, it will have holes all the way around. And we'll be ready for the next step. Okay, so there you have it. They're tiny, they're light in color. I don't know if you can see them. Let me see, can you see those? Yeah. Okay, so those are about 1/4 of an inch apart. Okay, so give me a minute, go get a snack or something, and I'll be right back. Okay, and just like that, I've gone all the way around, all 4 edges, and if you can see those little tiny dots there, those are my marks for where my stitches will go. Okay, so I've done all 4 sides. So now what I'm going to do is, what do I do with it? There it is, my awl. Okay, I've got my awl, and for this, for what I do is I just use this is what I call my glue block. It's an old dictionary text that I tore out of a book, and all you're gonna do is you're just gonna go wherever your dots are, and you're just gonna punch a hole. Like I said, it's super entertaining. That's why I'm not going to make you sit through all 511 of these. Okay. What I will do is I go around this twice. I just go back and I make these holes just a little bit bigger. I suppose maybe, let's see, can I do it without the book, without, I don't know, piercing my finger? Nope, because, maybe. So I only have to do it once? Oh, look at that, it's going faster. I mean, the first time I did it, oh, Lord. Oh, nope, just stabbed myself. Don't mind me. Blood, sweat, and tears, people. Blood, sweat, and tears. If you're not putting that into your art projects, can you really say you're a crafter? So, I'm just going to flip this around. And I'm just going to punch these holes all the way around. I don't know if you guys want to watch me do this or not. It is going much faster this way, though. You know, that's how it goes with crafting most of the time. Is you try a technique, you do everything the hard way the first time, and then the next time you do it, you figure out how to do it a little faster, and the next time a little faster until you're, you know, whipping things out at the speed of light. Okay, well, maybe not the speed of light, but you get my point. So I guess I'll just do this in real time since it's not going to take forever in a day. It's probably the part where I should be playing some music or something in the background. Just be careful if you're doing this like I am, up in the air, not on a block or a pad or something. Don't stab yourself. Sharp object. Children should not try this at home. At least not unsupervised. How about that? Unsupervised children should not try this at home. Mom or dad are standing by and say, hey, go for it, then who am I to say they're wrong? If you're new to my channel, thank you so much for joining me and watching what it is that I do, love to share with the world out there. Oh, this technique is much better. Look, there's no chance of me getting stabbed. How about that? But yeah, if you're new, sorry, gotta stretch the old fingers there. It gets a little tedious. Let's see, where did I stop? Right there. Yeah, if you're new to the channel, thank you for being here and joining me and learning and watching and doing. If you're following along with me, hope I'm not moving too fast. If you want to see more of my content, my videos come out on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Saturdays. I currently do have a series running and building, breaking down all the junk journaling terminology that you may hear out and about in the crafting world, like this isn't all that's included in that video. That's my most recent one of the series. Showed everybody how to remove a signature block, this guy, from a big book. And actually, I'll show you real quick. Take a little break. Catching Fire is my newest journaling project. That's the journal that's being made in the series, which will go on sale in my Etsy shop. Once it's all said and done, you are welcome to take a look there. Shameless Etsy shop plug coming in 3, 2, 1. Dragonflyer Studio on Etsy. Check it out. I only have a few listings because, well, the things I make take time. I want to make sure, and anything that I sell is a quality product that I myself would be proud to buy from someone. So I don't do digi prints, I don't do digi kits. Everything that I use in my studio is either genuinely vintage or I age it to make it look vintage. But otherwise I don't really use digital printouts from the computer. I also don't sell them. So if that's what you're looking for, my Etsy shop won't have it. Okay, so there we go. There's all the holes punched in our wonderful little journal. Okay, so now comes the time to measure out the thread. So we're done with our block for now. So the next thing you're going to use, and I highly recommend it, especially for this project, and or if you're sewing in signatures to a journal that you're making from the ground up, and this is waxed a leather binding floss and or thread. I've seen it listed a couple different ways online. Basically it's just, I'm not sure how many strands are there, but it's basically this braided floss that is then coated in wax. Think dental floss. That's what's going on here. The great thing about it is when you tie a knot with this stuff, the wax grabs onto those fibers and makes it, I won't say impossible, but much more difficult for knots to come out of. So what we're going to do with this guy is we're going to measure off a tail about, I don't know, I'd say about half the length of the width of the journal. And then I'm just going to keep my finger there. This is not precise. As a matter of fact, you want the thread that you need to be a little longer than shorter, because shorter you're going to have to tie pieces together and it's going to become a problem. So you're just going to go corner to corner, corner to corner. See where I'm going with this? Corner to corner, and corner to corner. Then keep your finger there, and again you're going to run a tail up about halfway up your book. You're just going to come in and cut these. Any old scissors will cut. Set that aside. And then you don't need a needle with a sharp point. Blunt-ended needles are fine because your holes are already punched, and you're not having to really poke anything through any of this. So I have determined that when looking at my journal, this is the top, since my map faces this way, and this is my front. So I'm going to start my stitches down here at the bottom of the page, and all I do is I just start here. You just go through that side. It's a little difficult to get that first stitch going, but then you're going to keep your tail about halfway up your book, and you're just going to do, I don't know what this stitch is called, an in and out stitch. I'm sure it's got a name. I'm not a seamstress. So you're just going to go in and out all the way around the book. This is only going to get you half the stitches that you need. So where you see that this stitch is missing, you're going to need to measure out another piece of binding floss, and you're going to do the opposite way so that this looks like a continuous stitch, like this looks like. Okay, and then once I get that all done, I'll come back whenever I have all of it stitched in, and I will show you how to tie it off, and then the step after that, that will seal your stitches together. Okay, so I will be right back with some sewing that will be done. Okay, if you're still there, this is where I'm at. This is what it looks like so far. Just wanted to give you a little update. There you go. Outside of it, looking really good. Alright, I'll be back with more. Okay, a little bit of an update. I'm almost gotten all the way around. This has taken a little while. It does take some time. Slow stitching is what a lot of people refer to this as, but it gives a unique feel to your project when you're done. Okay, be right back. Okay, and I'm back again. So, gotten one way around it, all the way done, and I've ended up back down here at what is the bottom of my thing, and I've come back up the same stitch that I started at. So that's kind of great. It may not always work out that way. You just have to kind of finagle around with your holes. Because what I'll do next is I will start this way here so that my tail is on the outside, so that when I'm done, I will have a way to tie it all off, and I will show you how to do that. So, alright, so for the second run, I'm going to do the same thing. Make sure I know where my needle's at. Has a tendency to roll off my desk. I'm just going to start here about halfway up my book, and then I'm going to measure corner to corner, corner to corner, corner to corner, and corner to corner, and then about halfway up the book, like right there. Okay, set that aside, thread my needle. Now this layer that I'm about to do will get a little more difficult because the thread that's already there will make it a little harder for the needle to go through. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to go through the same hole that I started at on the back side, only this time I'm going to come from the outside of the journal. Pull that on through, and I just want to keep that tail about halfway the width of my journal, like what I measured on the side. And then I'll just continue on around stitching this just like I did the first ones. Gotta be careful of that dangle. Might want to wait and add that dangle until after your stitching's done. It tends to be a little pain in the butt. Gets tangled up with everything. Get a tangle in the dangle and it all goes awry. So I'll just continue on around here, and I will come back and show you what it looks like when all the stitching is done. Actually, I may check in. I'm a little afraid that my camera's going to die, and I don't want to have to try and splice this together because that's a pain. If you know any good editing software, drop that in the comments. You really help a girl out. Otherwise, I try to do these all in one sitting. So I may come back about halfway through and show you what it's starting to look like, and then I'll come back when it's all done and show you how to tie these off and seal your threads, and I've got an idea for these corners that I want to show you as well. Alright, see you in a bit. Okay, one more time before I'm completely done. Stitches are really coming out nice. Focus, camera, focus. And this is what it looks like on the outside. Yep, coming along nicely. Alright. Just a few more minutes and I'll be done. Be right back. Okay, everybody, coming down to it. I've almost got the double stitching around the edges done. I've just got this much more to go. Be right back. Okay, I'm back. It's all stitched up all the way around. Alright, and so what we're left with is this, at least for my journal. So you may end up where all of your stitches are on one side or all of your stitches are on the outside. If they're like this, I'm just going to take the two that are on the inside and the two that are on the outside. I'm going to come up over what is the bottom part of this, and I am just going to tie it off right where it sits. What I'm trying really hard not to do is buckle the cardboard. And then I'm just going to make a square knot because that works best. And as you start to tie knots with this waxed floss, you will feel the wax start to grab at each other. And then you could, if you wanted to, you could put some beads on there and make a bottom dangle. Just keep in mind that when it's closed, the way that it's supposed to be closed, it will hang down, you know, this way. So I don't necessarily want to do that, and you know what, I really don't like the way that that knot is looking. So I'm going to show you that yes, this knot can be taken out, but it doesn't come out easily. I've got my weeding tweezers here, and it's going to take a little bit to get that knot to come on, undone. So this side wants to grab as I'm trying to pull on it. There we go. Maybe. Yep, there we go. So I think what I'm going to do this time around, since my holes were a little different, is I'm just going to tie one knot on the inside, and I'm going to tie one knot on the outside. And they'll be tiny enough knots that they won't go back through the holes that they came through, and they also won't stand out too much from the pattern that we've created on the outside. There's that side. And then I'm just going to clip it pretty close to where it started. I'm going to do the other side. And there's that. So you just have one little knot on the outside and one little knot on the inside, and once you close it up, you really can't tell that it's there. Now, the other thing that I've learned, if you're stitching with this waxed floss, the binding thread, is I grab a thimble, just plain old metal thimble, and what I do is I just run it back and forth over the stitches. The wax causes those stitches to flatten out. And so you can kind of tell before, get over here, before and then after, maybe you can tell. I just like the way that it makes the stitches all become uniform. You know, if your holes are just a little bit askew, you know, not try entirely in a straight line, this can kind of help rectify that, make it look more like machine sewn. You don't have to do this process, but I do. I just like the way that it looks. And then I flip it over and I do it on the inside. Guys, thanks so much for watching this how-to video. I know I had to do this in 2 parts. I was afraid the stitching was going to take me too long to actually get done. I know the video right now is only going on 25 minutes, but let me tell you, I've been sitting at this desk for an hour stitching this book. So it does take some time and it's a little labor intensive, but for me it's a labor of love. I really like the way they turn out. So again, if you're watching this, if you're new to my channel, hit that subscribe button. I have new content that comes out on Monday, Wednesdays, and Saturdays regularly. These videos will probably get posted on Saturday, even though it's Thursday, or I may go ahead and post them online tonight. I'm not entirely sure where that will go. But there you have it. There is a completely stitched up journal, and then I have one more thing I'm going to add to this one that was not on my other. You probably have seen these at some point in time. They are corner protectors. I don't know if they have a fancy name or not. But I'm going to put them on the corners of this journal just to give it a little, I don't know, a little something something. Well, first I'm going to drop it on the floor because that's what you do sometimes. Let me get out my jewelry pliers. All right. So these are easy enough to add to any journal that you've got. They just slide right on. You just want to make sure that they're all the way in the corner. Am I on camera? And then just with whatever tool you may have to smush them down. You just want to start to gently pinch it shut. Same thing here. You may be able to do it. Oh, yeah, you kind of sort of can with your fingers. And then they just kind of take over and bite into the paper, and it keeps them from falling off. So, you know, if you have an old book that you're working with and you want to protect the corners, or like this one here, it's you know, it's pretty flimsy as far as the corners go. This will just give it a little protectant, and voila, that's what it looks like when it's all done. Super easy to put on, but it's a nice little detail. And can add some longevity to an otherwise aged item that you might have, if you want to keep the corners more rigid. There we go. There's those two, and then I'll take these two and put them on the flap. And pretty much once they're on there, they're not coming off unless you damage whatever they're attached to, because they have this little lip that's underneath there that's beveled in. So as you're crimping it down, it's biting into whatever's underneath of it. And there we go. Oh, no, wrong one. Whoop. There you go. There you have your little bifold, trifold junk journal, all sewn up and faux leathered and embellished with some corner protectors and whatnot. I'm really happy with the way these are turning out. Like I said, I have two of them. I don't know that I'll mass produce these, so to speak. So, Alexa, stop. For whatever reason, she thinks I said her name. Sorry. And so, yeah, there's this one, and then there's this one, the one that we started out with. So, you know, while they're very similar in nature, they are also very unique. And whatever I decide to put inside of them will also be unique as well. So I appreciate your time. Thank you so much for watching. Like I said, you want to see more of my content, hit that subscribe button. Otherwise, just give me a like and give me a comment, give me a share. If you know somebody who would like to see this, you know, copy that link and send it on to them. I appreciate your time. Until next time, bye.